Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I am Vedant Agarwal. Our lead story, well, the Delhi dungle heating up as the Aam Aadmi Party has opened a fresh front against the BJP. The Aam Aadmi Party alleges there's an Operation Lotus being carried out here in Delhi ahead of the big assembly polls next year. And out on bail himself, Arvind Kejriwal alleges that, well, the agencies are out to arrest his number 2 in the party and Chief Minister Atishi. Here's a report. Operation Lotus claims in Delhi. Weeks ahead of polls early next year, the Aam Aadmi Party boss Arvind Kejriwal opening a fresh front against the BJP. The BJP has rubbished the allegations, saying Kejriwal's loss is imminent.
पूरे दिल्ली में इन्होंने एक अभियान चला दिया नाम कटवाने का और इन्होंने कहा कि संजय सिंह को भी अब सबक सिखाना है। तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि नई दिल्ली विधानसभा क्षेत्र में जहां के विधायक श्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी हैं, वहां पर हमारी पत्नी अनीता सिंह जी का नाम कटवाने के लिए एप्लीकेशन दे दी।
हम बार बार कह रहे हैं कि दिल्ली में अवैध वोटों को बसाने का काम अरविंद केजरीवाल और आम आदमी पार्टी कर रही है। कल भी साक्ष्य दिए थे, आज भी दिखाता हूं। 23/12/2024 को इलेक्टोरल रोल फ्रीज हो गया कि अब नई मतदाता सूची 6 जनवरी को आएगी। यह है एक असेंबली का नाम है नरेला। सिर्फ 24 तारीख को यहां पर 2000 से ज्यादा लोग अप्लाई करते हैं नया वोट बनाने के लिए। तो मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूं अरविंद केजरीवाल, ये वोटर आए कहां से?
Out on bail himself, Kejriwal claims the agencies are now out to arrest his number 2 in the party and Delhi Chief Minister Atishi.
3 या 4 दिन पहले हमें अपने सूत्रों से पता चला है कि ईडी, सीबीआई और इनकम टैक्स तीनों एजेंसीज की मीटिंग हुई है और उस मीटिंग में ऊपर से आदेश आए हैं कि कुछ भी फर्जी केस करके दिल्ली की सीएम आतिशी जी को गिरफ्तार किया जाए। ये मैं पूरी जिम्मेदारी के साथ आज बहुत बड़ा आरोप लगा रहा हूं कि इन तीनों एजेंसीज को ऊपर से कहा गया है कि दिल्ली की सीएम आतिशी जी को कोई भी फर्जी केस बनाकर गिरफ्तार किया जाए।
ये स्पष्ट हो गया है कि दिल्ली सरकार, जो आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार है, उस सरकार के अधिकारी भी इस बात को कह रहे हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल तुम तो झूठे हो भाई, तुम झूठ बोलते हो, तुम मक्कारी कर रहे हो। हमारे मुख्यमंत्री के खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई नहीं चल रही है और आतिशी मार लेना जो है वो बिल्कुल निर्दोष हैं, उनके खिलाफ कोई जांच नहीं चल रही।
The Transport Department was quick to reject these claims. In a letter to Chief Minister Atishi, the department called the allegations misleading, saying no such inquiry is underway. Claims and counterclaims are flying thick and fast, with the stage set for the Delhi dungle.
As the allegations continue to swirl, the question remains, will these claims impact the upcoming elections or will they just be another chapter of the ongoing political tug-of-war between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party? With camera person Pawan, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
Meanwhile, the other big headline, well, it's going to be the superstars' date with court on Monday. Allu Arjun is all set to appear before court in the Pushpa 2 theatre stampede case that killed a woman, and of course her 8-year-old son is battling for life. I remember Allu Arjun has faced a lot of flack for the stampede case and politics has broken out over it as well, but Monday is going to be important for Allu Arjun's date with the court. Moving now to news from Bihar. Well, dramatic protests in Patna as thousands of students took to the streets to protest against the state PSC examination. Remember, this is the Bihar Civil Services examination. And well, the students say that there have been paper leaks and various irregularities in the execution and administration of the examination, which is why a re-examination needs to be held. Remember, the state of Bihar has ruled out a statewide re-examination, citing lack of evidence for these claims of paper leak and irregularities. Moving now to some tragic news from South Korea. Well, 177 people died in the worst ever airplane crash in South Korea's history, at least in the past 3 decades. All passengers and 2 out of the 4 crew members have died. The exact cause of the airplane crash is not known yet.
The final days of 2024 have seen a number of aviation accidents, from some near misses, such as in Canada, a miraculous rescue in Kazakhstan, to an accident that shook the world in South Korea. One of the worst civil aviation disasters to hit South Korea in modern history. Roughly 179 people are dead after a flight from Bangkok carrying 181 passengers and crew crashed at the Muan airport in the early hours of Sunday. The second such crash in the past week. Only 2 crew members have been rescued so far. Footage of the final moments before the crash show the Boeing 737-800 attempting a belly landing before skidding down the runway with no visible landing gear, slamming into the airport's perimeter wall and bursting into an explosion of flames. Officials have revealed that of the 175 passengers aboard the flight, 173 were Korean nationals and 2 were Thai nationals. Taking to X, Thailand's Prime Minister has also expressed her condolences and ordered a probe into the disaster.
먼저 제주항공을 아껴주시는 모든 분들께 머리 숙여 사과의 말씀을 드립니다. 무엇보다 이번 사고로 인해서 유명을 달리하신 탑승객분들과 유가족분들께 깊은 애도와 사과의 말씀을 올립니다. 현재로서는 사고의 원인을 가늠하기 어렵고 관련 정부 기관의 공식적인 조사 발표를 기다려야 하는 상황입니다.
The big question, the cause of the crash remains a mystery. The crash comes as South Korea continues to face political turmoil, with the third acting president taking office in the past 2 months. While families nervously await for answers, all eyes will remain on South Korea to see how it navigates past this tragedy. With Disha Bagchi, NDTV Bureau Report.
What an absolutely unimaginable tragedy there. But moving now to, well, Navi Mumbai and its international airport, a huge step forward to operational readiness as well. The first commercial flight was tested in the Navi Mumbai International Airport on Sunday. Here's a report.
It was touched down for the first time as an Indigo commercial flight landed on the Navi Mumbai airport tarmac. The flight was welcomed with a water cannon salute. Officials say that the first phase of this 4-terminal airport is scheduled to open to the public by April 17th.
ये historic है not only for Navi Mumbai, it's for the entire aviation sector. Because जिस हिसाब से इंडिया में aviation sector का growth potential है, which is expected to grow 5 times, 5 गुना growth होना है, वो growth के लिए ऐसे नए greenfield airport are must in India.
Managing Director of Maharashtra City Planning Agency (CIDCO) said that they have proposed the construction of a 32-kilometer long metro line connecting Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport to the Navi Mumbai International Airport. This line will connect all the major metro lines of the city.
छत्रपति शिवाजी इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट और ये नवी मुंबई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट है, इन दोनों के बीच में मेट्रो का भी अपना प्रपोजल है जिसका डीपीआर तैयार है. उसके लिए राज्य सरकार को हम लोगों ने भेजा हुआ है परमिशन के लिए. एक बार वो परमिशन मिलने के बाद वो हम टेंडर निकाल के काम भी शुरू करेंगे.
Connectivity to this new airport by road has already been planned. The Atal Setu Bridge was constructed in the sea, connecting the Navi Mumbai airport to the Mumbai city.
Once this becomes operational, people of Navi Mumbai don't have to travel across the city to reach Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport. And once the airport comes in operational, Terminal 1 will go under redevelopment. With cameraman Vijay Sartape, this is Yash Tiwari for NDTV Mumbai.
With that, we'll take a short break now, but be a part of our special drive as part of Uday Foundation's blanket donation campaign. 60,000 blankets are needed to help save lives. Blanket can be dropped off at the location flashed on your screen. Welcome back. It's been quite a year for ISRO, and now ISRO is taking to a mission that has not been ever seen before. This, as ISRO is all set to launch its SPARDEX mission that's going to be critical when it comes to its future lunar mission. So the first time, India is going to undertake docking and undocking of satellites in space. My colleague Pallav Bagla has this report.
India is getting ready to do a very unique experiment in space for docking and undocking two satellites. I have with me Dr. S. Somnath, the chairman of the Indian Space Research Organization. The experiment is called SPADEX. Thanks a lot for speaking to me, Dr. Somnath.
Thank you.
What is this very unique docking, undocking experiment we are going to do?
So, when you have multiple objects in space and we need to bring them together for a certain purpose, we need a mechanism called docking. Two space objects coming and joining together for a purpose is called docking. This is done through various approaches. You can connect it with a soft mechanism or a hard mechanism. You can also connect them using a mechanism by which you can send people through. That is called pressurized compartment connection, which is done for human transportation from
like
Earth,
we see on international
space station. When a crew module connects to the space station, you bring the pressure equivalent and then transfer people. So everywhere you have initially a mechanism comes and connects, then you establish a sealed connection. So suppose you have to build a space station. No, everything is not launched in one go. Modules go one after another and they are connected to each other to build a long, big, complex space station. So everywhere there is something called docking process is involved. In the docking process, there is something called a target and a chaser. So somebody will follow the first objects and come together and in a close proximity and make a connection. So in the SPADEX experiment, we are exactly going to replicate that type of technology required to do that. It involves first a mechanism which can go capture, then pull them closer, then rigidize it. So there are three functions. Second element is there are a suite of sensors which are required to identify which is a target and which is a chaser, and then relatively move them in a coordinated manner that they are able to come very close with a very controlled movement as well as not to cause a hit and damage while we come to docking. So these two technology elements we are trying to demonstrate through two small satellite platforms built around IMS bus, which we have been earlier launching, to be launched in PSLV in one go, in one orbit. So they will be together launched and the satellites will carry out the docking experiment.
And now to our special report. Well, 2024 has been a year of wars and conflict, to what's happening in West Asia, to Ukraine, to, of course, the unprecedented escalation in Syria as well. Here's a look at how the conflict spanned out in the past 12 months.
– 2024, another year marked by the shattering of lives. Another year where the echoes of gunfire drown out the laughter of children. A year where the world watched in horror as conflict engulfed nations. From the war in Ukraine to the escalating tensions in the Middle East and beyond, millions were forced to flee their homes with their lives torn apart by violence, fear, and their world at war. Russia's war on Ukraine, now in its third year, has devastated cities and displaced millions. The Kremlin's stated goal of halting NATO's eastward expansion continues to inflict widespread destruction. According to the United Nations, civilian casualties have tragically surpassed 12,000. With over 14 million Ukrainians displaced from their homes. The World Bank estimates the war has inflicted over $100 billion in damages to Ukraine's infrastructure. Meanwhile, in October 2023, an attack by Hamas in Gaza, which killed over 1,000 people, triggered an intense Israeli retaliation, reigniting violence throughout the region. Israel's military operations extended across the region, targeting Iranian proxies such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthi rebels. In Yemen, Houthi forces intercepted vessels they accused of aiding Israel, while cross-border skirmishes with Hezbollah escalated into a major crisis. By September, Israeli strikes on Hezbollah's paging devices resulted in dozens of fatalities, pushing the region toward critical instability. A November ceasefire brought a temporary halt to the violence. In Syria, rebels mounted rapid offensives, toppling the Iran-backed Assad regime. This victory triggered a fresh wave of violence as factions vied for control, further destabilizing the region. Iran's proxies found themselves weakened, giving Israel an opportunity to consolidate its position in the Middle East. Africa, too, faced a surge in conflict. In Ethiopia, the Tigray region remains a humanitarian catastrophe. The United Nations estimates over 5 million people have been displaced, with hundreds of thousands facing famine. In Sudan, a power struggle between rival military factions has plunged the nation into chaos. Tens of thousands of people have been killed. 12 million have been displaced. The country on the brink of famine, more than half of its 48 million citizens are acutely food insecure. According to the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data, also known as ACLED, the world witnessed over 200,000 fatalities in violent incidents this year alone. Half of these deaths occurred in Ukraine, Palestine, and Myanmar. In the past 2 years, fatalities in Afghanistan have declined, overtaken by rising death tolls in these emerging hotspots. According to ACLED, Palestine, Myanmar, Syria, Mexico, Nigeria, Brazil, Lebanon, Sudan, Cameroon, and Colombia have been categorized as extreme conflict zones. Civilians have borne the brunt of these wars, with an alarming average of 5,500 fatalities per month from targeted violence in 2024. As 2024 draws to a close, without decisive action, the cycle of violence threatens to spiral into new regions. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
And well, that's all the time we have on the show. Thanks so much for watching.